too much, just filling in until Hangry gets here, but just happy to see a couple of my fellow FFR racers in this.
So we'll talk about exactly what flag set we're running in a moment, but for now let's take a look. And one of the key things is you'll notice no keys required, so we will have access to the treasury as well as the throne room here. So a whole bunch of gold and a little bit of fairy water, and let's see if the runners remember to go ahead and check the treasury, since they don't need keys to get through any doors with this particular setup. ichbinmiah is not doing so. Just going to check out the overworld first. Kaiten's going to check it out. We got more gold.
And there's a token too, so possibility of a level 1 gold grind here as well.
And the flute is picked up in the treasury as well. But yes, it was Erdrick's token. So no big stick to start right now.
Yeah,
a whole bunch of gold though, if they can find a nearby town. We're gonna go see what the back door is on Kaiten's screen. And you notice that there's not even a shop owner by the key shop there, since there's no reason to buy keys in this seed. We have a dark dungeon. Kaiten just goes ahead and exits. Let's see if they bonk around. We have a reset by ichbinmiah.
Yeah, there's the Silver Harp Cave is located very conveniently outside of the castle.
Alright, so this might be a little bit of a slower start if they can't find a town right away to spend some of this gold on. So we'll talk about what exactly these guys are doing in this week 1 situation here. So it's basically standard randomizer setup as we've remembered from tournament play and other competitions, but with some modifications. We're going to be learning the spells in order this time, so no spell randomization. And the key there is that we're not going to get Heal More until level 17, and presumably never going to use Hurt More in the seed, since that's not learned until 19. And that also is going to mean 17 is more or less required to finish the seed. But to counteract the potential length that occurs from that, we are going to have some factors that shorten the seed a little bit. We're not going to need keys to get through any of these doors. And experience gaining will be sped up to very fast settings, only requiring 50% as much experience as you would in vanilla to level up.
Ooh, Toaster gets cut down right in front of a town, so unable to spend that gold, but still has a fair amount left over.
And ichbinmiah has triggered the initial gold glitch from level 1 as well, so he's going to grind up lots of gold right now in the beginning of the game. I'm not sure if he saw that town.
Yeah,
but
I don't think he did, but this is a high variance play, especially when you don't know what the map looks like, and you never know if that first town is going to have all the good stuff that you want anyway.
Absolutely, yeah. It takes a couple of minutes to grind up, 30,000 gold or so to be able to buy all the best equipment. And sometimes 2 or 3 minutes spent doing this, like you said, it could all be wasted if you can't find a productive town nearby. We have AmazingToaster bypassing a cave, and he sees the town to the southeast before running into a werewolf. So he's going to do some resetting as well. I guess he's got some gold saved up, so he's going to attempt to reach that town with the gold in hand.
And Kaiten's going to help himself to the old man's torch.
Yeah, so no big stick in any of the 8 chests that we've now seen. Sometimes that can be helpful in these seeds. Kaiten does make it to the town, though, and it is Cantlin, so 3 shops immediately available since we don't need keys to access that 3rd shop. So
Yeah,
we're going to have lots of goodies here.
If Maya can make it here with all of that money, there's Flame Sword and Magic Armor right there. He's going to get a lot of mileage out of this.
Yeah, presumably he could go back to the king right now and save all this gold, so that if he does take a death from a werewolf, he's going even beyond 33,000, takes a little extra, and he is going to do a safety save, so Smart play here. So if he takes a couple of deaths while he's looking for a town, you can always reset your game and retain your gold.
Normally, there's a silver shield there too, so
ooh,
he's gonna have the big 3 if he makes it there, and that's pretty swingy. So,
so will he turn right and go to the southeast? That's where the town was. He's going in that direction so far, I think. Ooh.
No, don't punch the scorpion.
Gets the bad news that the scorpion has some fire breath. Whoops, he chose the wrong file there.
Yep.
There we go. So now he's going to have a whole bunch of gold saved. So presumably he'll take a few more attempts to find a town. And yeah, huge advantage if he actually can make it to Cantlin with all this gold. AmazingToaster, I wasn't clear how much gold he managed to save up. But he does have the broadsword, the large shield, and the leather armor marked off now. So that's some decent medium-sized equipment to at least get started. Not totally sure what strength score they started with, but a broadsword is plus 20 if I recall. So you'll be able to kill all the initial monsters and level up quite rapidly. Again, we're on very fast experience gains. So, with that broadsword, he'll make quick work of these early enemies.
I really don't blame the route that Maya is taking right now. I would be terrified to run through desert with a giant pile of money, but it seems like he's getting desert encounter rate in grassland right now.
And Skeleton sends him home. Hopefully he'll be persistent and he'll continue to try this strategy, or he could always, he has another file if he wants to, run around with the secondary file, gaining experience, and then if he finds a town, he can always come back to this file. So he's got a few options.
Always headed in the right direction right now.
With no equipment, though, those drolls are no good. So just run away from everything. Skeleton is here. You don't want to go through the swamp either. That takes some damage. You have 9 precious hit points to work with right now.
He's a tile away from seeing the town.
Oh, it's on his screen. Okay. First he's going to check out the torch here. And, so interesting development on the top left screen. Meanwhile, our other 2 runners do have some experience under their belts. Got 82 experience points for AmazingToaster with that broadsword, so he's now on level 5. Running back and forth in the secondary zone, finding skeletons to fight. Skeletons have stop spell, so they don't always do a whole lot of damage to you if they're busy casting that, so that's a nice choice here. AmazingToaster takes down the skeleton for another 25 and another level up. And Kaiten has gone back into the treasury for some more gold. And so far we don't have any equipment marked off for Kaiten, but I think he was the one that was running around in Cantlin. So he's got some things in mind that he might want to buy on the return trip. I don't know what happened with Ichbin there, because he seemed like he walked the other way after exiting that cave. Did he not notice the town pop up on his screen there? It was right in the corner of the screen.
He did. He didn't want to take. A step across the swamp, so he took 1 step in desert and ran into an axe knight.
The decisions that have to be made. Yes. Well, he's in the grasslands now. It's a lower encounter rate. Unfortunately, he's out of the secondary zone, but fortunately, the Spectre is one of the weaker of the totally random enemies, and he makes it past the Spectre, and he's going to have some nice equipment right now. I think he's taking notes and drawing maps. You see him pausing a little bit upon entering the town, just making a note of what it is and where it is.
Oh, yeah.
But here we go.
He absolutely is. It was just a newer player to the randomizer. One of the pieces of advice that I did give him was, take notes. There's a lot of stuff going on, and the worst thing you could do is re-explore an area you've already been to.
Well, we got the flame sword and the magic armor, and he does remember to check the 3rd shop behind the door. So all of our runners taking advantage of the special flag set, we can open doors for free here, and that that opens up a lot of chests earlier on in the seed than otherwise would be available. And in this case, there's an extra shop as well. It's going to stop by the fairy water shop. That's probably a smart move as well.
Yeah, I like this move a lot in this set just because of how late you get repel.
Yeah, remember, we don't have, we have non-randomized spells, so Repel in the original game is not learned until level 15, which is a little bit of a nuisance, so any and all fairy waters that you can acquire and buy along the way could be pretty helpful. There's a seldom used fairy water shop actually in the town of Brackenary, which with this key set, with this flag set would be interesting because it's normally behind a locked door, so that's definitely never used, but in this particular situation, I could see that becoming useful if it's out in the middle of nowhere and you need some fairy water. So whenever you mix up the flags like this, there are all those little extra strategies that could potentially come into play. So we'll have to see if they take advantage of anything like that.
So he could also stock up on herbs and get the coordinates while he's here. So kind of nice that he took a little bit extra money.
I haven't noticed anyone attempting the coordinates. I don't know if they can survive the walk right now unless, yeah, like you said, you could get a bunch of herbs. You need at least, well, you do have more than 15 hit points, just barely. So it would be like an herb every step, right?
Yeah, the old.
Can you make it with an herb every step? I'm not sure. You get 6 herbs. It's going in that direction, so. Yeah, it would definitely be useful to get those coordinates if there are any. It could potentially hold Erdrick's armor. That's guaranteed to be in one of 3 possible search spots throughout the game. That hasn't changed. That's the same as our standard flag setup. And one of those 3 search spots is located right on the overworld, in which case you'd need the coordinates from the old man in this town of Callan in order to know where exactly to search for that.
And we're joined by Hangry Canuck right now.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Angry Canuck. Welcome, and glad you could join us. We're in the early stages of this Week 1 race, and we had the potential to acquire a bunch of gold in the beginning, and Cantlin is nearby, so some of our runners have varying degrees of equipment at their disposal, and they're off to the races now, trying to fight for more experience and exploring more areas. And it's the tablet cave now for Ichbin.
I see an early Edric sword. That's not going to hurt anybody.
So far, I'm not sure actually if anyone's found that, but broadsword for AmazingToaster does pretty good damage, and Ichbin did an early gold grind all the way up for the flame sword. So they are certainly able to do some damage. He's navigating through this tablet cave with just the torch lit, so taking a couple of wayward turns, but he's going to make his way to the one treasure chest, and of course you don't learn outside until level 12. So we're going to have to walk all the way back out. He does get the death necklace for his troubles though, Hangry. What do you think?
Yeah, that's not bad. The good thing about Tablet's Cave is there's no enemies, so I mean, you can, even if you get lost, it's not going to hurt you any. Just cost you time, not much else.
Yeah, absolutely. Unless you get really lost. So if you don't have a torch, let's say, it could be a little nasty because then there's no way to actually progress. You have to kind of reset your game. But with the torch, you're not going to get that lost. So he's going in and out, death necklace in hand. Death necklace, of course, is a randomizer feature, which enables you to gain a little bit of extra attack power if you want to sacrifice 25% of your hit points. And you also will be cursed as normal if you choose to use it.
Ooh,
So
and the
he'll
silver
hang on to that
harp.
for later.
Silver harp is hiding in Rimdalar.
Oh, that's interesting, because that town has become a lot less useful with these flag sets. No need to buy keys, and the doors which guard that chest are just openable. But there is that one chest, and sometimes it can have something important, like the silver harp. That's one of the 3 quest items required to enter the final castle of Sharlock, so nice find.
And that gets overlooked. You would not believe how often that one chest gets overlooked, and it could be the item you need.
Oh, especially in this flag set where you find Rimular and be like, oh, we don't need keys, and maybe you just back out of it and just move on, you know? Just forgetting that, yep, there is that one chest there that I might want to check it out.
I see the golems still hit like champs.
Yeah, nothing's changed about the monsters themselves. We have randomized abilities. They could unleash the Hurt More and the Dragon Lord Breath if you're unlucky. But they do have their normal statistics from, I believe it's the remakes, as far as experience and gold given, and their strength and agility stats.
And Newbie is picking up the Silver Harp right now. Janice has found a swamp, and it ends up in Garenham. And a second dead necklace.
So, Hangry Canuck, I wonder if you got the wrong link, because we're on Randomania 2, and we're following AmazingToaster and Kaiten.
Oh, are we now? Well, there you go.
There was a last-minute change with who was doing what, yeah, as far as that. So we had to switch our link over. That's an easy change, no problem.
Ah, there you go. This is what
Just in
happens
time
when
to
you
see
don't-
some death and destruction up on ichbin's screen. It's got the red
This
text.
This is what happens when you step out of comms for a few months. Ooh, I see we got some varying sprites here. We got Taloon from 4, we got Alina from 4, and ichbin, of course, with the Black Mage.
You know, I actually don't often use that feature, and it is a lot of fun, especially in these races where you're watching multiple runners. Gives a little distinction to who's what and who's doing. It's a cool feature.
Looks like ichbin made it with all the money to get all the gear.
Yeah, so in the beginning of this seed, we had gold in a lot of the chests early on, and as you know, you can open the door with this flag set to go directly into the treasury. So he reset his game and did the early gold grind where you pop back up into the throne room temporarily, and then you come back down, and the last two chests in the treasury become glitched. So he was able to grind up enough gold for all the equipment. Cantlin was right nearby, and it had, of course, there's 3 shops there, so it had all the equipment.
I see Kaiten and AmazingToaster decided to not do that.
Yep, they did not do the chest glitch. They ended up with, there was a lot of gold chests there, so they both ended up with 2,000 or 3,000 gold just from opening them normally. And, AmazingToaster was able to afford the broadsword with that money, so he's been able to make some progress. Kaiten, unfortunately, I think took a couple of deaths in his explorations, and so he had less money to spend. We have him just with the axe right now.
Yeah, looked like AmazingToaster found Jerk Cave.
Yeah, we started off with the flute and the token handy, but no big stick in this seed, and no, let's see, what else? Well, we did have the death necklace acquired in the tablet cave by ichbin, but nothing else has been found just yet. So we got some exploring to do.
So spoiler alert for anybody who's gonna watch Randomania 1 later. Forget everything I said.
Sounds like they might have started with the big stick over there. It's funny because in this flag set with the 7 chests immediately available, there's a much better chance of starting with it. You have, I forget exactly how many chests there are total, somewhere around 29 or 30. So it's probably a 1 in 4 chance of starting with the sword immediately with this flag set, which definitely helps speed things along, but these guys are doing pretty well without it.
Oh,
the Red Dragon might have something to say.
Looks like you turned on the sirens. Pull you over for going too fast.
Yes. Nicknamed the Fun Police, because the fun usually stops when you see it. At least early on in the seed. Eventually they'll get to the point where they'll probably be able to defeat them. But for now, unfortunately he's sent back to the castle with half his gold, and it's going to have to start over.
So it looks like we're in exploration mode now for all 3 runners. They're just going around, seeing what they can find at the moment.
Yeah, once they managed to find Cantlin early on and they got a little bit of equipment, they got a few levels under their belts with that fast experience flag set, they got into exploration mode fairly quickly. Got Garenham now for Kaiten, checking out the shops because he still needs to buy a bunch of equipment, but he doesn't have a whole lot of money to spend. Maybe he'll get lucky and there'll be some gold back here. Remember, if you wanted to, you can ghetto grind these chests back here because the door is free. So you could exit and re-enter if there happens to be gold here. But instead, we do have the stones of sunlight.
At first, Kaiten tried to open the chest like it was a door. That didn't work. Then he tried talking to the chest. That didn't work as well.
So there you go. As I mentioned, there was 1 gold chest there. So if he wanted, he could exit the town and come back in and reopen that door for free. And do that a few times if he needed to buy, you know, something like a full plate.
It's funny he hasn't checked the cave in the back. Looks like ichbinmiah was taking a beating over there, but it's going to cast a couple of heals. And spells are randomized.
Yeah, and we don't have randomized spells, so you know exactly what you're going to get when you're going to get it. AmazingToaster already on level 10, so he's got the sleep spell, he's got, what's next? I believe it's Radiant.
Radiant
Stop spell is in there.
So you know they're going to at least 17 to get heal more. That's
exactly. And I forget the exact number of experience points for level 17 with very fast settings. It's somewhere in the 8,500 to 9,000 experience points they're going to need.
I think it's 8,000 right on.
8,000 even? There you go. Thank you, chat.
Yeah, I ran
that may be one of our trackers there. Thank you, sir.
I ran a few seeds of that this week because I'm racing Thursday night. But
all right. Well, good luck on that. Do you know your opponents?
I don't want to know them.
Well, good luck on that. That should be fun. There's tons of races going on this week. We're going to cram in all these League Week 1 races, I believe, into this week. So,
yeah.
Multiple races happening probably every night this week.
I got Smashy and Mr. Holmes.
Yeah, and it really is kind of refreshing to see the different flag sets run, because there are some different strategies that come into play here for sure.
Looks like Kaiten has found the Fighter's Cave at the moment. I'm a little rusty on the cave, so I could be wrong, but I believe it looks like the Fighter's Cave.
Yeah, or like the Tablet Cave, I think. Yeah. We got Mountain Cave for AmazingToaster, so he's gonna, if he can get past these blue dragons and other nasty creatures. There's 5 more treasure chests in here where he might be looking for the harp, for example.
Blue dragons would hurt. If they cast that quite a bit, they could be a grindable enemy.
Yeah, a little bit tough with no heal more. But absolutely, eventually you'll be able to outlast them once you get some hit points and, maybe Erdrick's Sword, something like that. I agree. If we do see a blue dragon on one of the spike tiles, that is a very good thing to keep note of.
Kaiten's cleaning out the chest.
Because we don't. That's one of the things. Maybe you can speak to this since you've run a few of these seeds, but the end game grind, where normally you'll go to, like, let's say the Hawksnest spike tile and hurt more some enemies. Well, you don't have hurt more in this seed. You don't learn hurt more until level 19, so you got to find other ways to grind experience to get to that situation. So you're going to want to look for a spike tile enemy, like you said, that if one of them happens to cast hurt or stop spell or something like that, so that you can at least outlast it, because you don't have heal more or hurt more to work with.
Actually, what I found, if you play it right, the Demon Knight takes out Ichbin. You can actually, if you fight as you go along, by the time you actually find everything and get everything set up, you're pretty well near not needing to grind. It's just maybe a level top.
Yeah, that would be the perfect scenario. And of course, with the short Charlock, there's not a whole lot of fighting your way down Charlock either. You know, you're got pretty much just a straight shot to the Dragon Lord.
Yeah,
So yeah, a lot of little
just the
changes
bottom
like
floor.
that. Yep.
I like that. I don't really remember my way around that place yet.
That's a good reason to play short Charlock for sure.
Like, I haven't really played the game since the last tourney, or whatever we did.
I can recall a lot of grief and agony with Charlock dives, so a lot of that has been mostly eliminated with the short Charlock settings. So it's kind of nice.
So I'm guessing the Edric sword is guaranteed to not be in the vanilla chest.
Why do you say that?
Well, you can't get to the vanilla chest on a short Charlock.
I think there's a way. I think they put it in somehow. I think they just stuck a stairway where you can get to it.
That I did not know.
Yeah, I think the programmers, the powers that be, there's a way to get to it, I'm pretty sure. But it doesn't often come into play, so hopefully that won't come into play this time, unless we want to see some potentially confused runners. But so far we haven't seen it, though, so it's more and more likely that the sword is in Charlock. I think we have a few more chests. I don't know that we've seen the grave yet, for example, so there's still a few chests out there in the world, but we're getting closer to sword and Charlock situation.
Looks like AmazingToaster is now gonna do his goal grind, probably to pick up the sword and the magic armor. Help him along.
Yeah, he knows where Caitlin is right nearby, and it has all three of the major items, so he should probably get all the money and head on over there. With 33,000 gold, he can get all the equipment.
Kaiten fighting a metal slime, trying to spell a hurt. I think that has a 1 in 16 chance of landing. It's almost like landing hurt more on the Dragon Lord. You better give your lucky rabbit's foot a kiss for that one.
Yes, indeed.
And a warlock with the big boy breath.
He's taking a beating. Back to the castle goes Kaiten. He did upgrade his axe to the broadsword, I think, when he was in Garenham, where that gold chest was in the back door. He did open that a couple of times, just upgraded to the broadsword, but didn't get any defensive equipment as far as we know, so he's still pretty vulnerable out there. He's gonna re-raid the gold chests, and maybe upgrade some equipment now that he's back near Caitlin. I didn't notice any of them going for the coordinates yet, though, and Caitlin is right nearby.
Actually, AmazingToaster did go for the coordinates in Caitlin, because I seen him on the spike tiles, but I didn't quite see if there was coordinates or if there was nothing. So if chat can help us out with that one. Or maybe that was RM1. Hold on. I'm still confused.
Alright, trackers are saying he did make it, but there were no coordinates, so that means there's not going to be an item in the overworld, which was fairly likely since we did find the flute in a chest early on.
Yeah,
and so that means that at least one of the search spots was empty.
Yeah, if you found the flute and the token in chests, then you know either Rimdalar Hawksness or the coordinates has the armor, so it's gotta be one or the other. And now we know there's no cords, so now AmazingToaster has the advantage. Who knows, he has to find Hawkins now.
Yeah, I don't know if they've found the town of Cole. The armor could be sitting there. I'm not sure, but a lot of times you'll search the spot in Cole and it'll just say there's nothing there. So only one of the 3 search spots actually has something, and it will be the armor. And it's not going to be the overworld spot. It's going to be either in Hawksness or Cole.
You are correct. I forgot about Cole.
Yeah, and meanwhile, yeah, so Kaiten has come back into Garenham. We saw him in here before. So just, I think, getting that gold chest again.
I think he just wants to upgrade his armor.
Is there a full plate available here? He has over 3,000 now.
There was, I think.
Yeah, so there we go. Full plate for Kaiten. He's slowly but surely upgrading equipment along the way. Did he ever check the back cave here? Backside?
I believe he did. And I believe I missed what it was.
I gotta get on the ball. I'm missing everything
I'm
as well.
telling you, you're not the only one. Okay, Ichbin's going to a cave, and it's the jerk.
That's pretty far out of the way as well, so he's gonna have to remember where that was. Come back here later.
Yeah, Kaiten found it earlier, so Kaiten knows where it is. Hopefully he remembers.
Kaiten finally does go back into the back side of Garanham, and it is the grave back here. And I don't think anyone's been back here yet, although we see AmazingToaster in there now, come to think of it. And there's some gold. Oh, the harp is there. Okay, so all 3 quest items for AmazingToaster already. So nice
now,
advantage
once he finds
for
the
him.
cave, gets the staff, then it's just a matter of finding the armor and the sword, and if the sword is not in the grave, it's probably going to be down the castle.
Yeah, one of the nice things about Short Sharlock is that you can, in this situation you have all the items. If you know where the jerk cave is and you trade everything and get the rainbow drop, you could actually search ahead of time for that sword.
Yeah,
In order to speed up your grind, you can just pop right in and open those treasure chests in Sharlock Castle without much effort, even without the armor. You can just go right in there and get the chests and see if the sword is there.
Looks like Kaiten and Amazing are going to finish cleaning out the grave. ichbinmiah is just roaming the towns.
So AmazingToaster on the lower levels here is going to open the 4th chest in the grave, and it's the torch. Not sure exactly what, I guess he's still looking for the sword, so he's got to continue opening chests. Even though he already has the harp and the flute and the token and the death necklace. He's still looking for that sword. So he's going to go all the way to the bottom of the grave just in case it's down there.
Especially on the fast experience setting and the short Sharlock, you're going to need the Edric sword, because you could do it with the flame sword, but you'd probably have to level a little bit higher. Looks like
Actually, that's a good point. Since level 17 is required, I'm guessing that there are many situations where the Erdrick sword is not actually required in this flag set. And you could have more than enough strength so that the flame sword is good enough by the time you get to level 17. But there is the Erdrick sword. It is on the bottom of the grave, found by Kaiten. And that is interesting, because that is often an area that's skipped by some runners. They don't want to go down to the bottom of the grave, and they just go into Sharlock hoping it's there. But we do have the sword at the bottom of the grave.
But now AmazingToaster took a death before getting that chest.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. He might not go back there now. He might skip that chest now until the very end when he realizes that it's not in Sharlock. So that is a tough break for AmazingToaster. Maybe it's going to allow our other 2 runners to catch up a little bit on that big experience lead that he has.
Looks like he's going to do a little bit of a harp grind here. Because the silver harp, when used as an item, does summon an encounter.
Not always the
not what you want,
that you're looking for. But it does summon an encounter, that is true. And he does have the harp now, so he's going to go ahead and upgrade to the staff. And I don't know that AmazingToaster ever went all the way up north to find the Rainbow Drop Cave like Ichbin did.
No, AmazingToaster is the only one that has not laid eyes on the Jerk Cave.
Yeah, that's way up to the north coast, so it's got some exploration to do in order to find that. And how about Sharlock? Have we seen that yet?
Nope, but we see Axe Knights with Hurtmore. They're not going to be grindable.
Yep. Of course, if they did find Erdrick's armor, the Hurtmore spell would do less damage to them, but it's still not really a favorable enemy at this point.
The Erdrick's armor cuts breath in half, so...
Actually, if I recall, the magic armor that 2 of our runners have cuts the Hurtmore damage as well.
I don't
unfortunately,
know if it does.
Kaiten did not have that.
I don't know if it does. I know the magic armor will restore 1 hit point for every 4 steps you take, unlike the Erdrick's armor, which is 1 for 1.
Yeah, it does help with Hurtmore, but not the Dragon Lord Breath. So unfortunately, Kaiten didn't have that. Kaiten just has the full plate, so he got wrecked with the full amount from that Axe Knight. But the other runners have the magic armor, so if they're in that situation, they would have a little bit of a better time with the Axe Knight, but it's still probably not beatable. Not completely sure what our strength score is at. Maybe our tracker can help
Caitlin
us.
has the advantage here right now. He's got all 3 items and the Erdrick sword.
So here we go. Angry, what do you think of these stats? The guy on the bottom right is really hurting. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, that blank no-name guy. Ooh, he better pull up his socks, man.
He's got a lot of red. He's got a lot of red over there, but yeah. So we have 58 strength for AmazingToaster level 11, which is not great, but it's not terrible. By the time you get to level 17, you'll assume that will make its way forward. You're gonna want somewhere in the range of 90 strength before you're ready to go. So we're gonna need some more strength.
I think 130 attack power is what they are looking for in order to actually, because I think it's, I can't remember what the formula is exactly, but I think it's
somewhere around there is usually when you start calculating it at least.
I think it's your attack power minus the defense of the Dragon Lord divided by 2 for high and divided by 2 again for low, something like that.
Yeah, so you can't do any significant damage to the Dragon Lord until you get your attack power up to a certain level. 130 is a good place to start, and that's around 90 strength if you do have Erdrick Sword. If you wanted to go with the Flame Sword, then you're looking at needing a strength score of over 100. So we got a ways to go. At level 11, strength score is only at 58. And that will affect the grind. If there is a grind, they have to find some way to fight these enemies basically with their attack power. Again, they don't have the Hurt More spell at their disposal, so the less strength they have, the longer and nastier that grind is going to be for these guys.
Yeah, and there's a good chance they will not have the Hurt More spell at all, because of all the seeds I've run, once you've hit 17, you've had the stats to get it done. Those Star Wyverns there breeding a little bit of the fire.
So Ichbin making his way back to the backside of Garenham. He's going to be in the grave now, and if he can get all the way to the bottom, he'll have Erdrick's Sword. But as we saw, there were some tough enemies in here, and it's not too easy to get down there.
Looks like AmazingToaster is our first one with the drop.
Alright, so if he wants to, if he could find Sharlock, like we said before, he can search all those treasure chests pretty quickly to look for the sword. Of course, he's not going to find it there, but it may be something that is on his mind now that he has the drop.
He is going to be like, if he's going to check those chests and doesn't find the sword, he's going to be thinking to himself, I bet you that one chest I missed in the grave. Now, will he go back? I guess that depends on his attack power.
Yeah, because he already has the flame sword.
The flame sword gives you 28, and the Erdrick sword gives you 40.
Right.
And the Erdrick sword gives you 40. So there's a 12-point difference there, which could be the meaning of 1 level or maybe 2.
Yeah, so if your strength score gets up well over 100, then you don't need Erdrick Sword. And by level 17, oftentimes that is the case, because sometimes you have seeds where if you were playing on standard flags, you only need maybe level 13 or 14, but we're forced to go to 17 because we need the Heal More spell. So you might be really overstat. You know, you might be overkill with the stats by the time you get to 17, and you don't need the sword.
Green Dragon sleeping and wrecking Ichbin back there. Not the Wombo combo, but they put him to sleep.
The drop for Kaiten now as well, so he's done a quick job of collecting all the key items, even though he didn't have the greatest equipment to work with for a while. He does have Erdrick's Sword now, so he's in pretty good shape.
Makes me wonder if he's going to grind for the shield or not, though.
Yeah, no shield yet for Kaiten, but he's in pretty good shape now. He's got the drop, he's got the sword. Nobody has the Erdrick's armor yet, which is important for in the final fight against the Dragon Lord. It's hard to do get through that battle without Erdrick's armor, and that is probably going to be in the town of Hawksnest, which I don't think's been found yet.
Or Call, whichever one they come up with.
Yeah, have we not seen that yet either? Is that? I think you're right. I haven't noticed them finding that town yet either. So we shall see. It's been fun to see how they've managed through this seed. We had a lot of gold in the chests in the beginning of the game, which enabled them to get some early equipment. I think that's one of the things that happens with this flag set is because there are no keys, all of the keys that would normally be in treasure chests are replaced by gold. So it seems like every other chest that you open right now is gold. So there's no shortage of gold, and you have access to a lot of chests early on as well, so it's more than likely that you're going to have some gold coming out of Tantegel in the beginning. So as long as you can find some equipment, that's how you get started on this flag set. So they all did that in slightly different ways, and they were able to parlay that gold into some equipment and got off the early levels and then started exploring around. Paths diverged. We had, let's see, ichbin got the tablet cave done pretty quickly for one of the quest items, and AmazingToaster went a different direction, found some of the other dungeons, so we shall see. So ichbin's still looking for that harp, so now is in the mountain cave. He's got a few chests to explore in here, hoping that the harp is in here so that he can get that rainbow drop that the other runners already have.
Alright, let's see if anybody finds Call or Hawksness here. It's been... And the Hawksness Square is not going to be free.
Yeah, and you're right. In terms of exploration, that is the race right now. Who can find the location of the armor? And then where is Charlotte Castle?
Yeah, those two things, once found.
Yeah, and then if they have some grinding to do, you got to figure out what and how to grind without having the Hurt More spell to work with, and not necessarily particularly good strength.
Well, the only thing that could save them is if there's a golem on a trap tile, because they have the flute. It could take a little extra, but it might be worth it to get the levels you need, because they're going to give you max EXP.
255 each for golem, even if it takes a little while, with very fast experience. That's just a couple of golems for every level, right? So that wouldn't be too bad. I don't know if we know if the golems have any special abilities in this seed yet, but
no, but it looks like that AmazingToaster is crossing the Sahara Desert there. It's a pretty big stretch.
I think what you mentioned before, if they found a blue dragon, that would be a great situation, because they just cast the hurt spell.
Yeah, so especially with stop spell. If you can get a stop spell to land, if they cast hurt 75% of the time, they're grindable.
And they do all have the stop spell available now that they're on level 10, correct? I think you learn it on level 10 in vanilla.
You do. Because ichbinmiah just used it on the green dragon, but it didn't work, and the green dragon said, well, I'll put you to sleep.
So, green dragon in this seed has some resistance to stop spell.
But he got it to land.
So the monsters in randomizer have certain resistance to hurt and sleep, and that is static. But resistance to stop spell is randomized. So if a monster happens to cast a spell, which in vanilla maybe they don't, but in randomizer they do, just based on the randomization of the seed. So if they cast a spell, then they'll have some sort of stop spell resistance from 0 up to, I think, 12 or so. So this green dragon has some resistance.
The towns are hiding out. It looks like ichbinmiah is making his way into a different cave now. This doesn't look like the grave.
He's backing his way out of the mountain cave, I believe, because they don't have the outside spell yet on level 11. You don't learn that until level 12. So he's hoping to survive the trip back out.
Looks like he's just going to take a death abuse. Well, with the fun police, you're taking a death abuse whether you like it or not, I guess.
He's just taking a swing.
You have no option. Looks like AmazingToaster is making his way through a swamp.
And AmazingToaster has amassed a pretty substantial experience lead now. Level 13 now, and he's got 2,700 and change experience. At level 13, you learn the return spell, just in case you want to ever take a shortcut back to the castle for your routing. And about twice as much experience as the other runners now.
Yeah, he's definitely got the lead there. It's definitely going to help if he comes across the armor sometime soon. Star Wyverns with a little bit of the heal. And a little bit of the fire.
I don't even recall if we've seen Swamp Cave, have we? So...
Yes, we have seen Swamp, I believe.
Okay, but nobody checked the spike tile yet over there. I was curious.
I don't think, but here we go. Kaiten's going to get the bad news in a couple of seconds here. And those tiles take 15 hit points per step. So you gotta be very cautious of your health when you're walking through those. Swamp only takes 2, but those take 15. Looks like we got a pretty nimbly bimbly blue dragon jumping in front to block your way.
Yeah, and that's one of the frustrations with this flag set, is that you still can't really fight some of these end game enemies because you don't have heal more, you don't have hurt more, you don't necessarily have the strength to outlast it. And as we see, AmazingToaster is unable to deal with this blue dragon. Oftentimes in normal randomizer, when you're at level 13, blue dragons are just no longer a threat. Either you have heal more, you have hurt more, you have really good stats. But you have to wait a little bit longer with these flags. Some of these enemies they're just still too strong, which is interesting.
The experience might be fast, but it kind of evens out because it takes you longer to get that experience that you need. Because if you had hurt more, I mean, you could plow through enemies and get 100, 200 experience, no sweat, right?
Like even this Star Wyvern, that's an end game enemy as well.
That's one hurt more gone.
Yeah, exactly.
But now
so
it takes
without
4
hurt more,
swings.
you have the flame sword and you're still only doing 15 or 19 damage, might take 4 or 5 attacks, and you can't really heal in between because you don't have heal more. So heal doesn't really cut it, so you're just hoping to outlast it before it gets you. And he's just able to do that. They have enough hit points now where they can sort of outlast, and then you gotta heal all the way back up.
This is a weird play on Kaiten's side. He's in the mountain cave, but why? He's got everything he needs.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm curious about this play.
So he's got the rainbow drop, he's got Erdrick's sword, and he's got the flute and the death necklace. There's literally no reason for him to be in the dungeon unless he wants to grind on some red dragons or something that are in here.
Yeah, or he wants the fighter's ring, which gives you 2 more attack and makes enemies run if you use it as an item. If they're weaker than you, they will run away. At least they do in vanilla.
Wait, what now? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, if you use the fighter's ring as an item in battle, it'll make the enemy run away. It's a little known fact.
Fact check you on that one.
Give her, buddy. Give her.
That would be a useful feature, though.
It's true. It's true. It's
Look
true.
at my ring. You will run away. You are so scared of this ring.
Bling bling.
And Kaiten's going back in there again. So something's in here.
I'm super curious about this play.
There are some seriously strong enemies that grant a lot of experience. I'm just not sure if he can fight any of them.
Maybe he
And
wants
now he's
to
running
grind
from
in here.
rogue scorpions, which he probably should be fighting. with the Erdrick sword.
Ooh, an amazing toaster has found Hawk's Nest.
And he's also found a metal slime here, unless I'm a little bit behind.
Stoneman keeps jumping him from behind. So now we're going to see if Hawk's Nest has value or not. Yeah, Beta Strap, he could trigger a gold grind, but there is easier ways to go about that.
Alright, so do we have a blue dragon on the spike tile? Is that where he is?
I don't think so. I think he might have got this one step before. Oh, he's fighting it though. Maybe not.
Because if that's the spike tile, that is a beautiful thing for the grind if it's going to cast Hurt pretty often. I think you do have a pretty good chance to outlast the blue dragon. And not always though. If he dodges your attack and then counter punches you, you might go ahead and take a death. So pretty poor luck there for AmazingToaster. Did not get a chance to search the spot. And I'm not so sure it was that easy to get all the way back to Hawk's Nest now either, so that's a setback. I'm sure he's pretty disappointed about that. I think he's going to go straight back there, though. He's got nothing left to look for except the armor.
Yeah, so he kind of has... Well, he's got the sword to look for, too, but I mean, I don't think he's going to go back for the sword. On the way he's going here. Looks like ichbinmiah is not going back for the sword either, or is he just finally trying to make it through the cave?
So Ichbin does not yet have the harp, so he's looking for that so he can get that drop that the other runners have. And which dungeon was that in now? I'm forgetting.
In the one
because the other runners have it.
Yeah, ichbinmiah is in the cave that he'll get the sword and the silver harp if he clears the whole thing.
So the harp is at the top section then, and I know the sword's at the very bottom. So yeah, he needs to clear this cave.
Yeah, the heart's on one of the top 3 rows. And I'm still wondering what Kaiten is looking for.
He's looking to be put to sleep by a green dragon, I think, is what's happening. And he's put to sleep again.
But I mean, he keeps going back for more, so I don't know.
Green dragons do have hurt, though, as well, to go with the sleep spell. I'm not... Oh, he gets him for 135. So maybe he's doing some grinding in here.
Be kind of a weird place to grind, but you never know. Or maybe he wants that fighter's ring.
Ooh, but he doesn't get to that last chest. The Demon Knight puts him to sleep and wrecks him.
Yeah,
so
Mel...
we're gonna have one chest that he's going to be curious about. He didn't get to it. Let's see if he goes all the way back there to search that dungeon again.
But the thing is, he's not doing it for the gold grind, Mel, or he would not be leaving the castle. Because the second he leaves the castle, the chests are reset, and he doesn't have them open anymore. So I'm at a complete loss for what he's looking for at the moment.
And Ichbin is trying to outlast this wizard by using his herbs. And he finally just takes a swipe, and it is enough damage to kill the wizard. Pretty good amount of experience, gets a level. And that's going to give him the outside spell. And he is in dungeon now, so he could just go ahead and use the outside spell if he's on his way out. But I think he still has to get down to the bottom to get the sword. So
yeah,
but that'll help on the way out.
Last chests.
And he cut into AmazingToaster's lead just a little bit while AmazingToaster's been wandering the overworld looking for, presumably looking for Sharlock still, and maybe he's going to make his way back for another try at that blue dragon. Maybe he has to relocate Hawk's Nest. It seemed to be pretty far out there. And
yeah,
some
it
of these
seems like it was a
battles
ways away.
Star Wyvern are pretty epic. They're chanting the heal spell, they're out healing. We can only do about 15 damage at a pop here. They're breathing fire. It's hard to heal yourself in between. These are he's been in 3 or 4 of these battles with these Star Wyvern, and they could go either way. It's down
they're
to
not
his
really
last,
worth it either.
his last attack here, and he's not going to get this one. Ugh. So this is the frustration with the flag set. You just can't fight the very best enemies for a long time. You don't have Healmore to work with.
You almost have to fight it like it's vanilla.
Yeah, just stick with the next best enemies if you can find them.
So like you're level 12.
Right.
So basically you'd be looking for stuff like Rogue Scorpion, Wolf
right.
Lords, anything in that degree of enemy.
Exactly.
Because if you were playing vanilla, that's what you'd be looking for right now and grinding on.
Yep.
Stonemen are very susceptible to sleep. And with the sleep spell and the Erdrick sword, I'm surprised Kaiten's not fighting them when he comes across them, because they're good experience.
Yeah, that could be an exception. They have high hit points, but they do have low defense. So if you're doing 15 damage to some enemies, you might be doing 25 damage to a stone man, and it might be worth it trying to put them to sleep. They are worth 155, so that's a good point.
Looks like Kaiten's trying a little manipulation here on the metal slime.
He gets him
by using the command trick, and I don't know if it's working, but hey.
255 for that metal slime, so he is up to level 12.
Look at that hit points. Woo! 40. Lord. Looks like the death necklace is gonna come into play now.
Not yet, but we have several levels to go where it may come into play. Especially with that strength score kind of lagging. AmazingToaster at 13, still with just 63 strength. Gives him 91 attack power with the flame sword, and that's why he still can't quite damage a lot of these enemies. He got a nice high roll there on the werewolf, so he probably will get the werewolf, but this is about the strongest enemy that he can fight right now.
That poor guy in the lower right. Ooh, he's having a rough go.
Those stats are rough. Rogue Scorpion pretty much perfect though, as we mentioned. He's actually defense breaking the Rogue Scorpion, as we saw there, taking almost no damage.
Makes it to the bottom and gets the Erdrick sword, so he must be pretty happy now.
And he's able to use outside to get out.
And he knows where to go to get the staff, I believe, and then he knows where to go to get the drops, so... all that's left for him is to find Hawksness or Call.
And according to our trackers, he's the only one that ever ended up getting the silver shield early on. He did a big gold grind and got all the good equipment. We just have the large shield marked off for AmazingToaster. So that can enable him to fight some of the end game enemies maybe a little quicker. He might be defense breaking things like that Star Wyvern. That AmazingToaster is not. So see if that silver shield comes into play for the end game.
So that's even worse.
So what is AmazingToaster up to, by the way? Because he was in Hawksness trying to get that armor, and he hasn't been there now for like almost 10 minutes. Not sure what else he needs to do. Here's Hawksness finally.
Pretty sure you might not know where it's at. Oh, he does. He must be slightly ahead of me.
Yeah, I refreshed because you were ahead of me, so that's so now I got the good stuff here, and we got another one of these Hurtmooring Axe Knights. And again, with that magic armor, they are doing slightly less damage, so he is outlasting the Axe Knight now. And as you mentioned before, there was a really big hit point boost, so now they can just outlast some of those enemies. Before they take a death, they're able to defeat the enemy and then just heal all the way back up.
He should be able to take this blue dragon down, especially if it keeps casting Hurt.
Yeah, this seems to be he's a heavy favorite here with all these hit points to work with. I think he should be able to get him if it doesn't cast, heal more or something like that. And no, he gets him. So let's see if the armor's here. Maybe.
Oh, we need Call.
Whew.
Hawksness is a dead end.
Alright, so AmazingToaster does know that there are no coordinates, and he does know that there's nothing in Hawksness. So he knows for sure that the town of Cole has Erdrick's armor. Nobody has yet found it yet. And the only thing else he will need are 3 more levels and the location of Charlotte Castle.
Yeah, I don't know if they found Sherlock yet either, to be honest. But it looks like the way that Amazing Toaster is going, there's another town that's gotta be called. There it is. Whoop! There
Alright,
it is.
so Erdrick's armor for Amazing Toaster, and still not with the Erdrick sword. Remember, he was the one that died before getting to that bottom chest in the grave. So I expect him to hunt around in Charlotte Castle for the sword, and he's going to be disappointed. And we do have a strength score that's been lagging throughout this whole seed, so finishing with the flame sword on 17 might not work out. So he is going to want to get that Erdrick sword, and he's going to have to backtrack all the way to the bottom of the grave.
Well, with the way
For that.
these hit points are going, though, one more big boost, and because I think 120 something, I think, is the least you want. Because if you use the death necklace, I don't think you want to be below 97.
Yeah, somewhere around 130 hit points. Yes, they would need... Well, they're getting close. Like you said, we got 3 more levels to get there. So if the death
Then again,
necklace comes into play, we'll have 10 more attack power to work with. And then maybe the flame sword is enough to win the game. So we'll keep an eye on that.
But then again, looking at Amazing Toaster, seeing as he has the large shield, not the silver, he is going to need slightly more HP because the Dragonlord is going to do more damage to him.
Yeah, I think it's more of a factor in this flag set for your grind because you're not defense breaking enemies as quickly.
No, you're not getting...
So if you want to... Yeah, if you want to fight that werewolf or that star wyvern more easily, you want that defense break so that you can take no damage.
I'm beginning to think that the silver shield is actually almost mandatory in these type of seeds. Because if you're only going to 17 and your agility is slightly lacking, I mean that silver shield could pick up the difference. Especially
because you're not using hurt more
guys.
to grind, right? So you need to be able to fight enemies efficiently, and so the ability to defense break some of these stronger enemies, I think, is pretty important. So yeah, I think the silver shield's quite valuable, and ichbin's the only one that got it.
Looks like the Stone Man is using Caden's face as a drum while he's ripping him apart.
But despite not having the shield, Amazing Toaster has continued to extend that lead. He's got about a 2,000 experience lead now over ichbin. He's got about 4,700 experience points now, closing in on level 15. And at 15, we learn the spell of Repel, so that will help him to traverse the map much more quickly to find Charlotte Castle.
So now that's really all they need now is Sherlock.
Well, Amazing Toaster never got Erdrick's sword. We know where that's hiding. The question is, will he need it? And
I
we'll
think
see on these
Amazing
next couple of
Toaster-
level ups.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Amazing Toaster is going to find Sherlock, going to figure out the sword's not there, and then he's going to have a decision to make.
Yeah, and what do you do in that situation? Do you just grind up to 17 and see if you get the stats to fight with the flame sword? I think that might be the play, especially if, let's say, the Sherlock spike tile grind enemy is favorable. While you're in Sherlock, you might just stay there and grind on that spike tile.
Yeah, especially
Get level
with short
17
Sherlock.
and then kind of like see where you're at with 17, you know?
Yeah, short Sherlock, the outside spell. If that grind tile's something good, why wouldn't you do it a couple of times? I'm still wondering why Caiten's running from Stonemen, though. They would be pretty easy to beat, and they give good experience.
Yeah, I can't recall if he ran into one that had, Dragon Lord Breath, for example, and he's just afraid of it. I don't think we've seen anything like that from a Stone Man, but I didn't notice for sure. But yeah, for now, he is not fighting those types of enemies, and anytime you forego encounters that you could be defeating enemies, you're just losing experience as with respect to your opponent, and he's now 2,500 points behind Amazing Toaster. So
Looks
a lot
like
of ground to
Ichbin is
make up there.
looking for the staff, but I don't know if he remembers exactly where it's at.
I also don't remember exactly where it's at, so that makes two of us. I remember the rainbow drops way up north, but the staff, I don't recall.
We are an hour into in. And I mean, these seeds, from what I've seen and from what I've played, have averaged about 150 and 120.
So a tracker's telling us one of these nearby caves right near the castle is the Staff of Rain cave. He's going to that one right now. And if this is the one, he'll trade that in and make his way all the way up north for the Rainbow Drop. I know that Ichbin definitely did see the Rainbow Drop cave earlier, so he'll make his way north from here.
And Kaiten's about to get some bad news.
If he makes it that far, and if he's willing to fight the Blue Dragon.
What if this Axe Knight has anything to say about it?
Ooh, he runs away successfully, and I don't know how easy it is to run from some of these enemies right now, but he got away from that.
Honestly, with the full plate and no shield, I don't know if he stands a chance against the Blue Dragon. Even with that much HP.
Yeah, you brought up the agility stat before too. I don't know if that's lacking also, but
Mr. Tracker, can we see
that
some
can come into
stats,
play.
please? Yeah, Archie's it's a little low.
Yeah, level 12 by now, you would normally want an agility score that's a little better than that. So you were in the mid-50s, and that puts his defense power fairly low, as you mentioned, with no shield.
Yeah, see how Ichbin
and
is
a low
like...
agility score.
See, Ichbin is 2 levels less than AmazingToaster, but he's got 1 more defense point, thanks to that silver shield. I mean, the silver shield is worth its weight in silver. Notice how I didn't say gold, because it's not made of gold.
Very nice. So, will Kaiten be successful against this Blue Dragon and at least get the information that what he seeks is not here? And Ichbin's gonna go back for coordinates? He never did this earlier in the game, perhaps.
I think he did this earlier.
He may have.
Maybe he didn't.
I don't think he did this earlier because
He's in for
when
a
he
big
got
job.
here, he was very low statistics and just wasn't sure if he could make
Kaiten
it.
gets him, so Kaiten's gonna find the bad news. Dun dun dun. Probably cursed
And
himself wide open.
Ichbin with this news, I think he should just take the Death Warp here because then he could walk directly north and go get that drop. But instead he's going to try and take all this time to heal and walk his way out. I just don't think there's a good reason to do this unless he wants to buy something. I don't think he needs to buy anything.
Kaiten's
If
pretty
he
low
could
in
just take
resources.
this death, he could just walk north from Tanteagle.
So if Caitlyn can make it a little bit more to get the call, but we'll see.
Oh, he's on really low resources, isn't he? I see a lot of red outlines all
got enough
along
to
the
cast heal,
shoreline,
though, so-
but he's got him here. Boom! Boom!
There you go. So Caitlyn's gonna be
Cool for
ready to go.
Kaiten, this is huge.
So it looks like AmazingToaster has found Motel 6.
We got a little bit of a, assuming AmazingToaster is able to keep his foot on the gas and he ends up winning this race, we got a pretty interesting fight for a second.
AmazingToaster
We
checking.
got Ichbin with a very slight experience lead over Kaiten, but he's a little bit behind on the exploration, still needing to go up and get this rainbow drop, which he is going to acquire right now.
AmazingToaster went into Rimdalar and was praying like nobody's business that there was a sword in that chest, but there wasn't.
Yeah, and so the next thing is that Ichbin still has not gone all the way over to Hawksnest to defeat the Blue Dragon and then continue on from there all the way to Cole. So he's going to have to do all of those things. And Kaiten is already done with all that. Kaiten has the Erdrick's sword and Erdrick's armor and the rainbow drop. So he is basically in grind and go mode. He's got a little bit less experience than Ichbin, but Ichbin still has to acquire the Erdrick's armor. So he's got some things to do. And so that's going to shape up to be a pretty close race for second.
Looks like AmazingToaster is going back to the castle. Sherlock's hitting pretty well. I don't know if AmazingToaster... I don't think AmazingToaster is gonna... Unless he's heading back for the Erdrick sword. Maybe he thinks he left it in that cave now.
No, I think he's just hunting around for Sherlock. Did he see it yet?
don't think anybody's seen Sherlock yet.
Well, he is on level 15 now, so he does have the ability to cast Repel and really cover that map now without a lot of the smaller enemies getting in his way. He is still going to encounter some of these enemies like the werewolf because he's not defensive having only the large shield.
I believe Repel works by your strength versus the enemy's strength. If your strength is higher than the enemy's, it won't show up. If the enemy's strength is higher, then the enemy shows up.
So a lot of these endgame enemies are still going to show up, but he is eliminating most of the monsters with the Repel spell now, making this exploration much faster, so now he can really look for Sherlock without too many interruptions, but he does get the Axe Knight, so
well, a soft spell
acquiring some experience points along the way as well.
Yeah,
Werewolves and Axe Knights are pretty good experience at this stage of the game.
Well, this is how you pretty much have to grind, is grind and go, because you're not really going to find a good spot to do a gold grind. An experience grind, because, I mean, you're not really that high level yet.
Yeah, with no heal more, no hurt more, it's a little tricky, although I think that Blue Dragon in Hawksness is a good candidate with only that hurt spell. But, like you said, they may not even need to have a dedicated grind like that. By the time he actually finds Sherlock, it might be time to go, so.
Yeah, he's only about 2k short total to get to 17, so. But then again, if the strength stat doesn't come up, he might have to go look for that sword.
I'm shocked that we still haven't seen Sherlock on any of our 3 runners' screens an hour and 10 minutes in. Is that really possible?
Yeah, that
Look at this cave on
amazing.
Kaiten's screen. What is this cave? I guess he knows what that cave is.
Has anybody found the swamp cave yet, even?
Well, that's what I was asking you before. The swamp cave.
I couldn't remember if that was on Randomania 1 or 2. I'll be quite honest.
Because, yeah, I was wondering if the spike tile had been checked there to see if there was a grindable enemy there, but I don't remember them going through Swamp Cave, but
I blame our amazing streamer. And while we got a little break here, while everybody's walking around just being themselves, don't forget to give these runners a follow. Ooh, Star Wyvern spit on him. A little bit of a spicy wings there. Oh, we're checking the cave now. Could be swamp, could be! And it is, but will he check the spike tile?
Yeah, that's the only reason why this would be interesting, because he has everything. But, you know, if there is something that he's gonna go right by it, he's not gonna check the spike tile. So what is... I guess he just wants to go and look for Sherlock. Maybe it's on the other side here.
Has to be here. Where else could it be? Oh no, there's the other... Oh, okay.
It's always Brockenary on the other side. It's funny. I feel like that happens all the time.
I feel like Sherlock's underwater for some reason.
Underwater Sherlock. That's a new flag.
Get on that, Game Boy.
Gotta get the oxale and breathe underwater. Wait, that's a different game.
Ooh, that's a good power boost at level 16. AmazingToaster's gonna be really happy to see that, especially with the Flame Sword.
Alright, so Ichbin is still on the hunt for the Erdrick's armor, which is going to be beyond Hawksness and all the way to the town of Cole.
So AmazingToaster
is in grind and go mode, and whether or not he wants to buy a shield at some point is another story. And AmazingToaster is going to be without the Erdrick's sword for a while.
But he checked his stats. He's got 124 strength and 120 some HP. So if he gets a big HP boost next level, he could use the Death Necklace and not really need the Erdrick's sword.
Right. Yeah, he could even risk it right now. It would just be a little bit, you know, you might not survive. But you could use the Death Necklace right now and be down to, you know, 94 or 95 hit points or something. But we still have another level up basically required because he doesn't yet have the Heal More spell. So one more level up and we'll see what the stats are for AmazingToaster. And if he could ever find Sharlock, we would have some progress for him on checking those chests. And then he'll be able to decide whether he wants to hunt for the sword.
Yeah, it seems to me they're having trouble finding Sherlock.
So Sharlock Castle is guaranteed to exist in every seed, correct? Is that still a thing?
Oh, unless the Dragon Lord got pissed off and broke it down, I don't know. Maybe that's what the Dragon Lord's doing. He takes it down piece by piece, rebuilds it somewhere else. He keep moving, they'll never find it.
Trying to figure out if Ichbin is closing in on the correct part of the world where Hawksness is, and then it's a straight shot to the east towards Cole.
I believe he is. I believe AmazingToaster is going towards Cole now as well. Hopefully Sherlock is somewhere around there, he's thinking.
Because Ichbin has managed to maintain his slight 500 experience lead over Kaiten for second place, while having to hunt around for this Erdrick's armor, and Kaiten pretty much is in grind and go mode. And he's got himself another metal slime here that would help close the gap, and he gets him for 255.
So Toaster's back in call, gonna regain his resources here. We'll see if he keeps on the search.
We have really low MP right now. If I saw him correctly, he just stated an N.
53.
And he has 53 MP.
So
that's not even in the orange, folks, and we're at level 16. That is a white statistic, meaning that is not go time.
Meaning you have no chance.
Yeah. So it's possible that we might have a seed here where level 17 is not enough, even with Erdrick's Sword. We might need level 18.
Yeah, all the other stats look good so far.
Yeah, that would be unusual, but it is basically the same as any other randomizer seed where every once in a while you need level 18 or 19. And so the same is true here. Level 17 is not necessarily the last level.
Well, by the time you find Sherlock, you might be level 20 anyway.
Alright, this is crazy how big this map seems to be and how much they've searched it without finding Sherlock, so...
I'm telling you,
and he is closing in. He's less than 1,000 points away now after he defeats the Axe Knight from level 17.
This will give him 17 here. Oh, maybe not.
Well, yeah, less than 1,000 away now, right? It's at 8,000 exactly.
I'm telling you, I think the Dragon Lord is taking it down brick by brick and rebuilding it somewhere.
Oh, we have a Sherlock sighting on the top screen, according to our tracker. I missed it, but
I don't see it.
Apparently it's been seen. Wow. How is the biggest thing on the map the hardest thing to find sometimes? I always wonder.
Looks like the Axe Knight is going down. Ooh,
AmazingToaster he's got to be sweating it right now. He doesn't know for sure where the sword is, and he's starting to run out of time before reaching 17. He still hasn't found Sherlock. He's got to be wondering frantically, where is Sharlock Castle? I have to hurry up and find this.
They're all sweating this. ichbinmiah is going in Sherlock. It's kind of weird. He's not really looking for anything in Sherlock because he has everything.
Yeah. The armor cannot be in a treasure chest, so if he's looking for the Erdrick's armor in here, that would be
he might be just
lack of knowledge about how the game works or whatever.
AmazingToaster found
hopefully that's not the case.
Well.
Maybe he just wants to get a little bit of a preview on the spike tile in Sharlock Castle. That could be an idea.
Toaster's in for an awful disappointment when the Erdrick's Sword's not in these chests.
Oh wow, okay, I didn't even notice. Toaster has made his way in as well. He's going to get a lot of little items and some gold and whatnot. There's the fighter's ring, by the way.
That'll help. That'll
put him up to 126.
But he's going to be like, where is it? bang, he's like...
Tell you what, that MP though is really low. So
I have a feeling 17 will bring a big boost.
oh, by the way, there's the stair. Did you see it? There's the stairway that leads you.
You know what? When I did my oh, it's only one chest down. Oh, that's quick.
Yeah, it's just right there. It's short Sherlock. So we have a vanilla search, and now he's like, oh darn, it's that one chest at the bottom of the grave.
But does he remember that? Does he remember missing that chest?
Well, he's got to remember which chests he found and which ones he hasn't. So he's got to know that it's that one. I think that he cleared the mountain cave. I don't think mountain cave was required, but I hope he did, because he might end up going into mountain cave first if he hasn't. Yeah, so AmazingToaster has got to be sweating it right now, just like, oh my gosh. And we don't have the stats again to fight the Dragon Lord in this case with the Flame Sword. So he does really want that Erdrick Sword.
It's not the attack power. It's not the hit points. He could put on the Death Necklace and get away with it. It's that magic. I mean, he'll only have what? 5, 6 Healmores? You better have about 100,000 attack power to pull that off.
Yeah, but if you had the Death Necklace equipped with the Erdrick Sword, you'd be up to 148 attack power. At that point, you're starting to think that this is like almost enough magic. We still haven't seen what level 17 will bring. So really that sword is pretty important, actually. So he is going in the direction of the grave. I assume that means he's already full cleared Mountain Cave, and this is the only chest that he missed. He's going directly in, so he knows what he needs to do. He's going all the way to the bottom of the grave. He should be there within a couple of minutes.
Yeah, he knows he doesn't have the attack power to do it without the Erdrick Swords.
And ichbin, I think, is just grinding on Sherlock enemies. That might be the reason why he came in.
He's just gonna get a grind to get the quick kill anyway, too, because he's still gonna find the Erdrick's armor, so he still needs to find Call and Hawk's Nest.
Yeah, honestly, I hope he remembers that he hasn't found Erdrick's armor yet. It could be something... I don't recall you actually walking across any spike tiles in Sherlock when it's short Sherlock mode. So if you just forget, you might end up just, fighting the Dragon Lord.
But I mean,
you start taking 72 damage from the Dragon Lord breath. Whoops, I don't have the armor.
Yeah, that would suck. He does have the defense power because of the silver shield. But yeah, the Dragon Lord breath would hurt you.
Yeah, pretty much that's why Erdrick's armor is required. So he's got to find Hawk's Nest, and then further east is the town of Pole, which is hiding Erdrick's armor.
So it looks like AmazingToaster
just hasn't gone in that direction yet.
A matter of picking up the sword and getting one more level to see if he gets a big magic boost. He's only 400 experience away, and he could be ready to go in.
Yeah, with sword in hand, it's all much closer now. So if he gets a little bit of HP, then the Death Necklace comes into play. If he gets a little bit of magic, all the above. Level 17 could easily be enough with the sword. I feel like without the sword, it would not have been enough. So he does have to do this, even though he, for him, it must feel like, wow, this is like a whole extra trip. I'm going to lose the race now. But little does he know, he still has a comfortable lead. So he's got the sword now. And he, like you said, just a couple of 100 points away from level 17. And he could get that just from Sherlock Castle if he wants. But
he now has the attack power. So he doesn't have to worry about using the Death Necklace. So that does give him the hit points. But it's just a matter of magic. Although at 140... and say maybe 130 hit points, if he gets like 2 or 3 strength and 5 or 6 hit points, it's possible to pull it off in 6 or 7 Healmores. It'd be really close.
Yeah, and the agility score is not great for this level either, and without the silver shield, we're looking at 77 defense power right now. It's another factor that's not really that thrilling for a Dragon Lord fight. It's not the end of the world, but,
with the hit points he has, it would almost be like fighting him with, just barely enough hit points and 90 defense power. The trade-off defense for hit points was kind of even.
Yeah, in other words, you have less opportunity to manufacture double attacks when your defense power is terrible, because you're going to be taking a lot of damage. But, yep, he's just looking around for some enemies now. So now we have level 17. I don't know if he actually checked his stats there. I didn't notice if he got a magic bump, so we'll see when we get an update on level 17. So he only got 6 additional magic points, which is still only 7 heal mores, I think, to work with. That is kind of gross. Now, he is over 130 hit points now, so he could use the death necklace. It would be dicey, though. He'd be at, I think, exactly 97 hit points, with the possibility of taking 50 damage from a physical from the Dragon Lord. So it's like not a sure thing as far as 97 hit points when that is the case. So this is, I don't know. I guess he's going for 18, right?
But now he's got the strength to one-shot metal slimes. That's going to help.
Does he know where the metal slimes are? Is that why he's in this particular desert?
That's exactly why.
That is a great strategy.
At 140,
AmazingToaster.
At 140 attack,
wow.
You can.
I love this play.
Punch metal slimes. So yeah, that's tremendous. It looks like ichbin is just about to get the disappointing news, but he's close to call. So
levels right now on very fast are only 1,500 apart. So we're looking at 9,500 total for level 18. Just 2 more metal slimes away and a little bit of extra.
And
if he gets the Stone Man here, he'll just get a couple of enemies away.
I think. Stone Man give 155, I think.
Yeah, so, 4 Stone Men.
There's another slime. Pow!
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. That's the fastest 255.
One more metal slime. Actually, one more metal slime or one more. Oh, there it is. Oh, there's his brother.
Alright, so let's see what happens on level 18. We have only 2 power. We got a little bit of a buffer with the hit points, and we got we're over the 64 MP threshold, so we got 1 additional heal more. I kind of think this is go time with my fuzzy math. You could use the death necklace,
give it a try.
or not. You kind of have an option here. You already have 142 attack power. You can go up to 152 if you want. It's not a huge gain to do so. You might want to just sit tight and look for double attacks. I kind of feel like he's got the stats now.
He does.
Especially with short Sharlock, you don't have a lot to lose, right? You're not spending 6, 7, or 8 minutes diving Sharlock only to lose to the Dragon Lord. I kind of think he should just go for it now. But again, Sharlock is really far away as well. I don't know if he's still in that general area. But if he's back near Tantegel Castle, that's like a really long walk to Sharlock. So I guess he's just going to 19 because it's so fast on these metal slimes, but I think 18 is clearly enough. We still have a nice race shaping up for ichbin and kaiten for second, and ichbin finally found coal and got the Erdrick's armor, so now he is finally officially in grind and go mode, and he has managed to maintain that very slight experience lead over kaiten. So he's got a slight advantage trying to get to the end game over kaiten here. And meanwhile, AmazingToaster has decided to go to 19. 19, by the way, we're going to learn Hurt More, as much as that's worth. Not sure if it's actually useful for any reason, but we're going to get to see Hurt More.
I can't see him casting it. He's bad and he's low on MP as it is. That would just be a waste. But he's a metal slime away now.
And by the way, if that's the case, you have to watch out for a miss menu in the Dragon Lord fight. If you just now learn Hurt More and don't really ever use it, and then you get into the Dragon Lord fight and expect Heal More to be on the bottom, that's a potential issue, but hopefully he'll be able to navigate that correctly. And we are one fight away right now from level 19, I believe. And if for some reason he wants to go to 20, the levels become a little bit further apart at that stage. I believe level 20 would be an extra 2,000 points instead of the
No, he's going here. He's going to have more than enough attack power to go
So
here.
3 power. Got even more hit points. Only 1 MP. But he's got all sorts of HP now. There just isn't really any reason for more levels. I know he doesn't like the MP, but the ratio is fine now.
Even with, you could use a Death Necklace now, still have about 120 HP left, 155 attack. You're gonna mow down the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, this is the problem with just having basic benchmarks that you look for every statistic. It's really the combination of how all the statistics work together. So you have like this ratio between the MP and your attack power, and you have more than enough ability to defeat the Dragon Lord with only 8 heal mores right now because you're just doing so much damage.
In my mind right now, if I was Toaster, I'd be like, okay, I'm hour 28. I haven't tried yet my stats. I'd be like thinking, okay, I gotta go now. Like, there's no waiting. Because at this point, Ichbin or Kaiten could be fighting the Dragon Lord right now. He doesn't know that. Like, he's probably looking at the screen waiting for that dot done to show up.
Now, this would be a comeback for the ages if Ichbin goes and tries to fight at 17. And AmazingToaster is like going all the way to 20, and now he takes a death. This is like, he's opening the door here. Ichbin is only 700 points away from level 17.
Yeah, he's grinding in those blue dragons.
This is becoming a close race, kind of, you know, unexpected.
Toaster's gotta go. He's gotta go. Like, I don't know what he's waiting for.
And now he's back at Tantegel, and by the way, that's not very close to Sherlock. So he's got a long walk ahead of him.
And he's not going northeast. So he's gotta be going back to grind, which is what he's doing. He's back at that desert with the metal slimes.
Yeah, just doesn't trust the MP. By the way, somewhere along the way, he got a bunch of agility as well. So the defense power with the large shield is no longer an issue. He's only able to take a maximum of 48 damage now from any Dragon Lord attack, so no issue there.
Yeah, he's defense breaking most things now, so...
So interestingly, we have Ichbin, the only one of our runners to do a traditional grind on a spike tile enemy. The blue dragon, as we mentioned earlier, only had the hurt spell. So he was able to use that even without the heal more at his disposal. He was able to grind on that blue dragon. And he has Erdrick Sword already. He could go here. It would be kind of close, but I think he could go right now and walk right by AmazingToaster, who's just busy grinding more levels. Yeah, if he uses Death Necklace right now, he'd have 150 hit points, or attack power, with 7 heal mores.
He's going back to grind. He guess he decided it's not worth it.
I'm telling you, I think that fight is doable. It's close, though. So I don't really blame him trying to get an extra level, but if he went right now, he could actually snatch this victory from AmazingToaster, who's grinding potentially 3 extra levels here. I believe that 17, the statistics are enough to win, but it would be close. I don't know how much chat agrees with that, but
Kaiten as well. Kaiten's only 1,000 experience from 17. If he decides to go on 17.
I'm excited to see what happens now. This is actually going to be a close race. You know, Ichbin is, he's got 1,000 more points for 18, and at that point, maybe he'll go. Maybe Kaiten will go at 17. Like, I don't know what's happening here, but nobody wants to finish the race.
The MP.
So, whoever decides they want to finish the race might actually win here.
Just not sure of the MP. And I mean, AmazingToaster, with his attack power and his hit points, there's no reason for him not to try at 19.
So remember, at level 20 that Amazing Toaster's trying to get to, it's the levels are further apart now. He's got to get, even on very fast mode, he's got to get 2,000 more experience for each level up now. So he's got to get all the way, I believe, to 13,000 even. Is that correct? Let's see. Yeah, 13,000 even will be level 20 for Toaster. And Ichbin is closing in on 18 at around the same time. Unfortunately, Ichbin is out of resources now. A little bit short of 18.
I mean, Toaster's got to go at 20. He doesn't have a choice.
But all of a sudden, it's a close race here.
I mean, with that attack power, you'll be hitting the Dragon Lord for 20, 25, if not more. Plus, you can use the Death Necklace.
If Ichbin right now, like, I know mainly he's looking for a town, but he might be on his way to Sharlock now. You know what I mean? Because he's only a few hundred points away from the level. He could get that on the world on the way. Not necessarily on the way down. There's not too much in a short Sharlock, but yeah.
But there is one trap enemy.
So...
yeah, I think if Itch goes now, if he finds a town...
find a town on the way, but like,
18,
make your way towards Sharlock, you know what I mean? And he could still win this race now.
Yeah, he really could.
We got a race, guys.
Oh, look at the MP gain on Toaster's side. Oh my god, at level 20. It's a jelly fight now.
Well, I predict Amazing Toaster will go to Sharlock on level 20.
I would hope so.
And Ichbin is not really going in that direction. He's kind of looking for enemies.
Yeah, Toaster's gotta go now. I mean, there's no reason not to. If he remembers where it's at. Because it wasn't easy to find, and Toaster's kind of making some indecision down there.
Ichbin, by the way, fighting the golems. Remember, at 17, he does now have heal more, so a lot of these enemies now are much easier to fight.
And with the attack power, you're just crushing.
He's using the flute as well, but he doesn't even necessarily need the flute anymore because he's got the heal more spell. So this is a quick 255 for Ichbin, and he is one fight away from getting level 18. And let's see if he immediately tries to go once he gets that fight under his belt, because Amazing Toaster is entering Sharlock.
Yeah, I mean, this fight's free, basically.
Ichbin had some bad luck. He didn't really want to go all the way back to the spike tile, but he just wasn't finding enemies. So he made his way all the way back over here, kind of reluctantly. He's just very close to it. He didn't want to have to do this.
Yeah, well...
just need one more fight, really.
Looks like Amazing Toaster's got this one, barring some unforeseen strike of lightning or something. Dragon Lord critical.
The only thing is just forgetting that he learned Hurt More and, miss menu.
And I think you would even miss menu once. There's an AK-47. I think that's the first one we've seen.
Alright, here we go. He's gonna heal walk and get into some more fights.
Will he put on the necklace? Nope, he's just going straight in.
Hold B, everyone, hold B.
He might one-shot this Dragon Lord. Nope.
So what just happened with Ichbin? He has decided it's not go time, I guess. Even with the additional heal more that was gained at level 18. I am surprised by that.
And Amazing hits for 60.
So let's see if Kaiten decides to go before Ichbin decides to go. I see Kaiten going to Sharlock right now, guys, on level 17. So he's going to walk right past Ichbin and take a shot at the Dragon Lord before Ichbin, despite being behind him for the entire race.
Amazing Toaster's not even going to need to use more than one or two heal mores at this rate. Yeah, Kaiten's going for it too.
Ah, this is really interesting. Ichbin had the lead on Kaiten for this entire race, and now Kaiten, because he's willing to try at 17, he has a chance to snatch second place here. And he must be looking at IRC going like, why haven't either of these guys finished yet? Of course, he doesn't
But they're all doing
AmazingToaster is very close now.
There you go. AmazingToaster has defeated the Dragon Lord. Get your GGs out, folks, for AmazingToaster.
GG for AmazingToaster while Kaiten is on the mini-boss. And AmazingToaster is coming back, get the accolades. We're going to have an official time here for you here in a moment. And let's see how Kaiten does. This is going to be a very close Dragon Lord fight for Kaiten. We got to watch closely to see if he gets some good damage rolls here.
Yeah, he's got to hope that... Must blow all your herbs right now, because you can't blow a heal more. And there you go, we have AmazingToaster finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour.
Oh, he does not use the death necklace, by the way.
48 seconds.
Sorry to cut you off there. So I was curious to see if he was going to try the death necklace, but he went without the death necklace, which means he's going to rely on getting some double attacks during this fight. And you don't have a whole lot of turns to work with in order to get double attacks. So if he can manage about 2 double attacks out of about 7 rounds here, he will have a reasonable shot. Let's see what he gets. Oh, and he gets ambushed! Oh, that's actually pretty important here. Oh, and he decides to heal more on 56!
It's actually pretty devastating to him right there.
I wonder why he chose to heal more there. Alright. And he just rolled an 11, which is on the lower end. He's going to need some above average rolls, and he's going to need 1 or 2 double attacks.
Like, Itch is going to make his way down, because he's about to get the level for 19. Or he'll get it on the way, I guess.
Will Kaiten be victorious in this Dragon Lord fight and get second place in this race?
I haven't really been paying attention to the damage he's been doing, but...
I saw some low rolls. I saw, I think, 1 double attack so far.
There, ichbinmiah got the 1 magic point at 19. Is he gonna try it?
And oh, by the way, there's no hurt more, so hurt more strats are not an option. He's just got to go for it. Just keep fighting.
Yeah, Hurtmore has a 1 in 16 chance of hitting the Dragon Lord anyway. It's like mega rare. But he might have to YOLO it. But he can't.
So his damage range is 9 to 19. We've seen a lot of mid-teens. I think he's got a shot, especially if he gets an extra attack here.
Got him.
Oh, Kaiten with this level 17 victory. And he's going to snatch second place away from ichbinmiah in this race. Fantastic, courageous fight for Kaiten on a borderline level. Get your GGs out. Let's see an official time.
I don't know what ichbinmiah was looking in the shop for, but...
Does maybe the tracker or somebody have the ability to drag AmazingToaster into the Discord for us, and we can have a chat? Do we have visitors? What's happening, guys?
That was actually a good fight for my placing.
Alright, we have both, I believe, AmazingToaster and kaiten619. AmazingToaster, congrats on your victory.
Thank you. I think I was having too much fun armor breaking Metal Slime.
that was interesting. It is a great grind choice there to get a couple of extra levels. We were just worried that someone was going to just walk right past you. You had a nice sizable lead on the field, and then you just kept getting more levels. So
Yeah,
I assume
probably
it was the MP stat that you weren't quite sure about.
Yeah, probably could have gone at, what was it, 66 MP on 18 or 19 or wherever it was that we got that. That would have been doable because we were just so overpowered by the time we got the extra level.
Yeah, believe it or not, and I guess I'll let Kaiten speak to this, but he was victorious on level 17, and that was indeed a borderline situation. But you did it. Tell us about that, Kaiten.
I was actually kind of nervous because I knew I only had like 7 Heomores in my arsenal. I was like, okay, if he just physically attacks me, I'll be okay. I can handle this. And thank goodness he did for most of the second floor.
Well, what did you think of when you first entered a fight and he got first strike? Were you like, uh-oh?
I had a bad feeling I might be able to say I might as well like take a death right here.
And another question for you, AmazingToaster. It turned out for you that you had to go all the way back for the sword. That had to be kind of stressful. You were banking on it being in Charlock,
Yeah,
and it wasn't to be.
Yeah, I got killed going down there, and I was like, okay, let's not dive this. Let's find Charlock. And then it took me forever to find Charlock. Or else I would have gotten sword sooner too. So
It took you all forever to find Sherlock.
it wasn't in a. It was just in an inconvenient spot, I guess, for how you tend to explore.
Yeah, we were discussing because level 17 is required in these flag sets that sometimes you might be in a situation where you just get a lot of stats and you just can fight with the flame sword. Was that something that was going through your mind?
It kind of came to mind, but I had to go get the sword out of principle.
Out of principle. I don't blame you. That has to be stressful when it's like, wow, that's a lot of backtracking.
Alright.
I'm gonna have to go all the way back to Garenham and go to the bottom of the grave. But
We have Ichbin about to engage the Dragon Lord here.
It wasn't a terrible backtrack because Garenham is like right on the way. So
I do have a question for Kaiten, though.
Go ahead and shoot.
What were you searching the fighter's cave for when you already had everything?
Fighter's ring, to be honest.
yeah, that's right. He did not have the fighter's ring yet at that point. But yeah, you did have the sword and you had the rainbow drop, I believe. But you did decide to search that and clear that out. There were some good enemies to fight in there. But it was curious though that you were opening all those chests. I guess you were looking for the fighter's ring, which is always helpful.
Alright, ichbinmiah gets a triple attack right off the start.
So Ichbin is going for it on level 19. So we had 3 different levels here. We had Kaiten at 17, AmazingToaster at 20, and now Ichbin is going for it at 19. So it's funny how the statistics were so kind of unusual and skewed that the go time level wasn't really that clear for the runners in this one.
Did it ever cross your guys' minds to say, okay, let's just put on the death necklace and make this go even quicker?
I thought about it, but I just decided not to. I knew I'd have plenty of power with what I had.
In my case, I had enough HP. I'm like, it's not gonna be worth it because I might only have 17 more, so I was like, might as well not put it on right now.
Yeah, it would have been risky in Kaiten's case because if you failed, then it would still be on and you'd be cursed, and you'd have to deal with all that going all the way back to the
Ichbin's
castle.
down. Oh, and there we go. Get your GGs out for Ichbin. He has defeated the Dragon Lord and will be making his way back to the castle.
Yeah, for what seemed like kind of a longer seed, at least in terms of exploration, it turned out to be pretty competitive. All 3 of our runners within about 7 minutes of each other. So this was a nice race here. Well done. 3rd place goes to Ichbin with a time of, maybe you have it there?
Not yet. 1 hour, 48 minutes, and 41 seconds. So this was quite a long one for the this seed type, actually.
Yeah, these usually you get to 17 and you're ready to go. It's just it was iffy at best.
Yeah, and especially I think in your case, you were getting into that situation and you didn't even have the sword yet. So for sure, it was a no-go at that point, and you had to go take care of getting the sword. I think there are other times when you could just fight with the flame sword, but we didn't have the stats for that this time. So yeah, it took a bit longer than some other seeds might. You also didn't start with the big stick like you sometimes do. You have 7 chests you can open right away, but it wasn't there. Let's see, what else? I think AmazingToaster, you got some of the gold chests and you managed to get the broadsword.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to get a chance to chat with ichbin or not, but he was the only one that realized that you could actually do a level 1 gold grind and trigger the glitch, and he got all 3 of the best equipments immediately because the Caitlin was right nearby with all the stuff.
Did Caitlin have a shield? I didn't see a shield. Or it wasn't.
Why don't we ask the man himself? Welcome,
Is he
man.
here?
GG, ichbin.
Hey, thank you very much. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we got you, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were just discussing with these guys, you were the only one actually to initiate a level 1 gold grind, and so you started off with all the stuff once you finally found and were able to reach the town of Caitlin. It took you a few tries.
Yeah, it took me several attempts, and then it took me several attempts after I bought everything to actually kill something, since I found that things had flame and all sorts of exciting things. But yeah, the grind went fine. And I'm still relatively new to this game, and so I could not figure out for the life of me what the dude at Caitlin was telling me when he wouldn't tell me anything. So I went back twice. I was like I have more items. Does it work now?
Back. Yeah. Like, are we sure there's no coordinates? Like, really?
Yeah.
Are you sure you just didn't forget the first time?
So what happened was you found the flute right away in a chest, and then pretty quickly you also found the token in the chest. And when that happens, that means that, you know, some of the search spots will just be empty. And in this case, the map search spot didn't exist, so he's unable to tell you coordinates in that case.
Yeah,
so that's kind of a rare case. It only happens when the flute and or the token are in treasure chests as opposed to being on search spots. So
yeah, so if you talk to him and he doesn't give you chords, don't even bother with the.
So that's just one of those things. If you haven't run too many seeds, that could easily trip you up. But you managed the whole thing pretty well, I thought. And I think for a while it took you all kind of a while to find your way over to Hawksness and then to Cole for the armor. And I think ichbin, you were the last one to go in that direction.
That was the last piece I was looking for. I could not find Swamp Cave north or south, and so I don't even know where that ended up being. I kept looking for the second continent, figuring that it was there, and then I stumbled across Hawksness, and then I found Cole after that, and then after that it was pretty elemental. Did anybody try to do 18?
Kaiten did 17.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Toaster did 20.
I saw, when I looked at 18 and I looked at magic points, I was still a little leery about trying it, so I decided to stick around and go to 9.
So it was fun to see also a difference in the grinds that you came up with. So ichbin, you realized that the blue dragon only cast the hurt spell, and so even though you didn't have heal more to work with in this flag set, starting at like level 14 or 15, you went to Hawksness and you were grinding on blue dragons. And AmazingToaster a little later got a few extra levels actually from a metal slime grind because you guys had so much attack power at that point. He found a desert where he was just one-shotting metal slimes.
Wow.
And that's always always fun to watch.
Once you get over 140 attack power, you can one-shot metal slimes.
Yeah, I came into the grind way too late for the metal slimes. I've been grinding on like what? Mostly just like possibly just green and axe knights.
Early game, the skeleton metal scorpions. That was a great grind early.
Yeah, it seemed interesting. Some of you guys were trying to figure out what to fight early on, which is kind of what's fun about this flag set, at least from a viewer's perspective, is that you guys don't get the powerful spells right away, right? So and especially since you didn't start with Erdrick Sword, you sort of have to figure out what you can and can't fight. And even as late as like levels 11 and 12, it seemed like you guys were still struggling against, green dragons
it's
or
like I mentioned.
certain enemies you just couldn't fight yet because you can't out heal them. You don't have heal more, right? So
Yeah.
makes
The
it
green
interesting to
here.
figure out what you can and can't fight along the way.
Green dragons were jerks until you got stop spell.
Yep. Same thing with demon knights. Were just awful.
Well, with these seeds here, you almost have to do it vanilla. You almost have to find a vanilla level enemy for what you're at.
Yeah, like stick with the mid-tier wolf lords and things like that. It is interesting. It makes for a different type of race. So I like this whole league setup where we're getting kind of a fresh view on what the randomizer can do and the different strategies. It seems like you guys enjoy it as well. These races are much different than what you would do in standard flags for the most part, and it's been fun for us to watch so far.
And now we get to do something completely different next week.
Hooray!
Hello, Chaos.
I have not actually played a Chaos Seed ever yet.
Canuck,
Well, you
you're
will
in
next
a
week.
rude- You will in for a rude awakening, my friend. That's all I can say.
I'm gonna have to do a few practice next week before our race for sure.
But
Awesome.
I am so glad I PB'd. That's my first PB in a long time for DWR.
Oh, nice.
Alright.
Congrats on that, sir.
But I guess
Nice.
if you guys have any final comments for the viewers, I am actually going to get going myself because I actually have to work tomorrow. So
I'll start. Just thanks everybody that helped make this happen. Game Boy and everybody that put the leak together, and those of you that restreamed and commentated and tracked tonight. I appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Yep. Thanks for putting together some flags that aren't just the same thing all the time. Gives us a little variety in this game, which we don't often.
I'd like to thank Randomania for restreaming all three of us, and especially thanking to the commentators and the trackers. But I gotta get going too, because I gotta get some Z's actually, because I am sleepy. I've been up since 1 a.m. in the morning here in the Philippines.
All right. Thank you, guys. And anybody out there in chat, make sure you follow these runners. They did a great job for us tonight, and they're going to continue on in week 2 and beyond for more league action. Special thanks for our restreamer Math Girl and our trackers. I believe we had Melee Wizard, and I think we had one other as well. And I apologize. Probably going to mangle the name. Link Force Zero, is that what it was? Yeah. So appreciate the tracking. It's very difficult to track multiple runs, and you guys make it look effortless. And Hangry Canuck, it was always fun doing commentary with you. Hopefully we'll do it again sometime.
yeah, sorry I was late, but I kind of spaced on the time.
Well, we're just getting started with the league here, and I think things will improve as we go. So thanks to everybody out there again. More league action will be on these Randomania networks throughout the week and beyond. I think probably just about every night this week we're going to have some scheduled races. We're going to cram all of week 1 action. All the runners that have signed up are going to finish their races by the end of the week, and then we'll be on to week 2 with a totally new flag set. So a lot of new and fresh ways to play this game on the horizon. So stay tuned for all of that. So that'll do it for us. I'm up to NG, and for everyone else here, thanks everybody. Have a good night.